Another problem can be a low breath rate. So if you just relax and you count the number of times that you inhale in a 60-second period, maybe you just set up a kitchen timer for a minute and you just relax and count the number of times you inhale in that 60 seconds. And if that number is below 12, that's a strong indication that your blood may be leaning a little bit too on the alkaline side. And when the blood leans too alkaline, what's called the Bohr effect kicks in. And the Bohr effect tells us that when that blood is leaning too alkaline, oxygen can't get down to the tissues where it needs to be so that we can function and create energy and do all the things that we should do as a human. Oxygen is kind of a big deal. So the reason that this is problematic when it comes to carbs is that when we process carbohydrates, a byproduct of processing carbohydrates is CO2. And CO2 is acidic, so it helps to balance out the bloodstream. So if someone's blood is leaning too far on the alkaline side, for a wide variety of reasons that can happen, but if they really cut their carbs down, now they're not processing as many carbohydrates and they're not creating that byproduct of CO2, and the blood can push even more alkaline. And then they create some major oxygen utilization issues where the oxygen may be there. The doctor may put a pulse oximeter on them and say, oh man, your oxygen's great, way to go, good job. But they're not seeing that the blood is too alkaline, so that oxygen can't get down to the tissues where it needs to be. So if a person already has a low breath rate, they really want to cycle in more carbs until they can correct that issue, or going on a really low carb, ketogenic, or carnivore diet could really magnify that problem and create a lot of trouble. So when we look at these two scenarios, someone who's eating a high carb diet that really could benefit from just cycling carbs, not eating carbs all day, just putting them into like maybe just breakfast or just lunch and dinner if they feel like they need a little bit more carbs. So in my book, Kick Your Fat in the Nuts, we talk about this 3 p.m. carb cutoff that helps people lose weight a lot. If they're eating like this, if they can just stop at 3 o'clock and cut off the carbs for the rest of the day, it allows insulin to come down before they go to bed, and then they have all night where the insulin can stay low and the body can access stored fat and they can burn that fat for fuel and lose a little bit of weight. So we see benefits when someone's eating high carb to cycle carbs in that way, where they're just putting carbs in part of the day. But if someone's eating in a very low carb way, ketogenic diet, maybe a carnivore diet, there's some issues that might let them know that, wow, they should really increase the number of carbohydrates that they're consuming.